So at this point, I've already recorded my review, um, but I wanted to touch on the whole Mark and Amber thing that happened in this episode because I knew I had a lot to say on it, and I didn't want my rant slash tangent maybe to take up the bulk of the review. So I figured let me just do it here because I have a lot to say. And I blame the writing. I really do. I think they fell short with Amber and her writing between episodes 6 and 7. Because I was Team Amber until then, right? I'm like, Mark, you're talking about we're planning a future with her, and it's a lot. But we get to episode 7. He tells her that, he's invincible, which that was dumb on Mark's part. That was so dumb. You don't divulge sensitive information like that just to keep her in the relationship, just to avoid a breakup. Like, you don't do that. That was dumb on Mark's part. Shouldn't have done that. He tells her, and she's like, oh, I've known. And just completely dismisses and almost trivialize the fact that he was a hero and not he wasn't cheating. He wasn't doing something illegal. He was saving lives, and you were aware of that. You were aware. And if you're smart enough to have figured it out on your own, like William, then of course you probably smart enough to know that all those other times that's what he was doing. But you still made it a point to try and victimize yourself and hold it against him and make him feel like shit. Like, what was the point of everything that happened in episode 6 if you've known? And this is where I have a problem with the writers, because I don't know if that was a plot hole or they really just wrote her like that and made her so selfish, because that whole outburst that she had was nonsensical. If you've known that he was invincible, then you knew what he was doing on campus. You knew he was trying to save William and your life and everyone else there. And you still had a shit fit about it. Why? You still made it a point to try and hold it against him that he was being a hero and make him feel like crap and guilt trip him into telling you. And when it didn't work, you got in your feelings and you went to a party. Like, you're selfish. You are so selfish for that. And the way she was speaking to him, it was so like condescending. And she was being spiteful, as if what he did was out of malice. And we know that's not true. And you, Amber, you know that's not true. And like, that's where you lose me. You really lost me on that. And I already had an issue with her in episode 6, because even taken away from the fact that he was invincible, right? During the time that I was filming that, we didn't know that she knew. But it's like, your boyfriend is missing during this huge commotion, and your first thought is that he ran to save his own skin. That's your first thought. You don't even care if he's okay, if he's not, is he hurt? Did something happen? Like, you don't even care about that. You make it about you instead of looking at the bigger picture. It's a no for me. It's a no. So you had this information. Why didn't you confront him? Episode 6. You should have confronted him after everything that happened on the campus. Instead of berating him, you should have waited till you got back to the room, waited till Rick left, and been like, oh, yeah, I know you're invincible. And been like, I understand, I get it, but this isn't for me. I can't. Um, and it would have been an amicable split and we would have just left it at that. But no, you made it a big deal. And I didn't like that both times. And both times between episodes 6 and 7, when she berates him, she not once let him speak his piece. Not once did she let him explain himself in any way. She just wrote him off. And I don't like that. It's like, and the fact that you knew. So what I said in episode 6, my episode 6 review about her looking for a reason to break up with him? Seems to be true now, because what the hell? What the hell? And I blame the writers. Like, why would you write her like that? And low key, now that we know that she's known, I have to look back because I'm gonna guess that she's probably known since episode 5, and I was side eyeing her a bit in episode 5 because your boyfriend, regardless of how he got there, he was in a coma for 6 days. And your first thought when he comes out of a coma is, not that, oh my God, you're okay. I'm so happy to see you. Wow, wow, wow. No, no, you're quick to make it about you and this fucking breakup and say, oh my God, I was ready to break up with you. He was in a coma. Like, she's so selfish. Why do you feel like you're entitled to that sensitive information after 5 months? You're not, because let there be a bad breakup like this one, and who's to say you wouldn't use that against him? Like, it's the lack of empathy. You couldn't put yourself in his shoes at all, and you were just being real petty and rude. And I'm like so done with Amber. I'm done with them being a couple. Don't let them get back together. It's not a good look. It's not. And let me be clear. They were both shitty in this relationship. The way she handled that was horrible. It was horrible. And you couldn't even give Mark an inch. You couldn't even give him a centimeter. That's my problem. Because you know what he did, his intentions were pure. And you still made it a point to try and make him feel like shit. Like, no, that's not cute. I don't know why they wrote it like that. It was so frustrating, and it really took me out of the episode because that part, it just stood out amongst the rest, which was pretty good. Hmm. She didn't even like him until she saw him with Eve. Like, that was her whole motivation for even trying to date him. So it wasn't a good look from the beginning. The foundation, it wasn't. Nah, nah, nah. You should have left the relationship. Why didn't you leave the relationship? You knew it wasn't. If you felt like it wasn't serving you, especially after you have this information, you should have told him that you knew and left the relationship. So you were just going to hold on to it for another 5 months and then try and use it as a trump card when you break up with him. Like, that's whack. Like, that is so whack to me. That is so whack. And it's like, Mark, this is on episode 6, but like, Mark, oof, shouldn't have been trying to make future plans with her after 5 months. Like, that's a red flag. You can't do that. No, red flag. Just, I'm done. And so when Mark goes to be with Eve, don't say shit, Amber. Don't say anything. You had 2 opportunities to be reasonable. You have a right to be angry. Absolutely. But to be an asshole about it and to beat it over the head and make him feel like he's the bad guy through and through when you've known, nah. Nah, you're not, that's not justified. It's not. No. No. And there's not much you can say to turn me on that. Now, I saw someone that said that, she didn't forgive him because he said it to avoid a breakup, which I can agree with. But again, she was very condescending towards him and didn't let him speak at all. At all. I'm good. I'm so good on Amber. If we don't have to see her in a relationship with him again, that's fine with me. That is so fine with me. Because that was so frustrating. Like, anyways, that was my rant. Um, thank you for listening. Yeah.